I'm Austin Coos.
I'm Matt Forum.
I'm Cody
That's
Miana.
it. I'm Blake Wyatt.
And I'm Aiden Delaney, and this is my speech on police dogs of law enforcement. My future career choice I'm interested in pursuing is within law enforcement. I've always had respect and admiration for everything they do. I plan on majoring in criminal justice, work for the law enforcement, and plan to move my way up in different sections within law enforcement. Though I've always been very fascinated by one aspect in particular, the impact of dogs used by law enforcement. The abilities and the impact of the dogs by used by law enforcement. The abilities and uses these dogs have provided are truly amazing, and little do they know what they are helping protect our society and everyday life. For example, when you are looking at identical twins, it may be impossible to tell them apart. Though for dogs, they are able to sense through using their nose and being able to tell them apart. Police dogs are extremely valuable in law enforcement. I will be discussing the history of police dogs, the training they go through, the benefits and the downfalls, and even the relationship the officer and police dogs have. These dogs are more than just their title and truly help impact the workforce. Dogs have been used by law enforcement for over 100 years, dating back to 1888 when bloodhounds were used while searching for Jack the Ripper. It wasn't until the 1970s when the use of dogs in law enforcement was officially established in the United States of America. When the dogs were first introduced to law enforcement, they were often poorly trained, overly aggressive, and incorrectly maintained. The United States has since made strict laws regarding training maintenance policies. Over 100 breeds of dogs have been used in law enforcement. But the most widely common dogs are Labrador Retriever, the German Shepherd, and these specific breeds have been shown to do great work above other breeds. And these dogs are particularly being trained as soon as they are born. There are several different ways to train these animals. The police dogs of law enforcement are taught very thoroughly, and training never stops. Training usually begins with relationship formation between the dog and the officer. Relationship bonding is very important when it comes to training and eventually working together. These animals go through puppy socialization, nose work courses, swimming classes, agility instruction, and more. Nose work course was the most interesting thing to read about. This is the area of expertise where the dog is able to use their sense of smell either to hunt, find, and retrieve the necessary object. When it comes to jobs where the animal is better suited than a human, it is pretty amazing. These animals offer special skills that are extremely useful for law enforcement. These dogs are able to sniff out narcotics and explosives, use their sense of smell to track and locate victims and suspects, along with being physical enough to outrun and attack fleeing criminals. Introducing an animal to law enforcement really changed the way criminals are found and arrested. These animals assist with finding evidence and reasons to detain or search individuals just based off their skills. Adding dogs to law enforcement has only strengthened the Department of Justice. These benefits of animals continue to increase in their own ways of life, along with their duty and service to protect. In comparison, this dog is still an animal. No matter how much training is done, though having a dog on the workforce has only increased the benefits, some things still do happen. Whether the dog loses control, the use of sniffing out narcotics can become overwhelming, and even their animal instincts can overrule the training. Though you barely hear these scenarios of dogs betraying their owners and acting out, it is it is still a real possibility that they cause harm. Whether that harm is to the animal, owner, officer, even to other bystanders. This is why training continues throughout the dog's and owner's life. As mentioned, the benefits heavily outweigh the downfalls of these animals, and this is why dogs within law enforcement are becoming more and more common. In referring back to the dog training, the first step in bonding and a relationship formation between the dog and the officer. The officer and this animal have a relationship that extends past the job. They become family. The dog is consistently around the officer even off duty. The relationship built is so personal and important on how long the dog will respond and act. This dog becomes more than a partner and is treated with the utmost respect. The bond is so intense and serves more purposes than just a partner in the field. This dog helps the officer with stress, anxiety, judgment, and even thinking. This can increase strength of the officer and the dog. There's a healthy mix between work and play, and the animals deserve more than just little. And law enforcement. Dogs are generally characterized as being extremely intelligent. When it comes to these animals, their limits of what they can do amazes me. Dogs are used for so many different reasons, but when it comes to law enforcement, these dogs exceed all expectations while being trained and getting the honor and respect they deserve. They are truly making a positive impact in law enforcement.